Hi, it's Pete Cohen, and welcome to episode 153 of the My 365 podcast series. Today's podcast is called The Truth About Weight Loss. Weight loss is one of the biggest industries in the world. There are 1/3 of the world's population who are overweight or obese, and those numbers are escalating out of all control. So in today's podcast, I'm going to share with you some of the truths around this subject that will definitely help you if you're someone who wants to lose weight, but also someone who maybe works in the profession of helping people lose weight. This is a fascinating subject, and I am delighted to be able to share with you some wisdom and some inspiration to help you and inspire you to be the very best that you can be. Episode 153 of the My 365 podcast series. Today's podcast is The Truth About Weight Loss. Now, if you're watching me on YouTube, you can see behind me a beautiful blackboard, and often I draw on here and teach because I want to teach people. I want to inspire people. I am a coach. At the heart of what Pete Cohen does, he's a speaker, he's a coach, he's an author, but ultimately what I love to do is to help everyday people just like you, and even help myself, to be the very, very, very best that we can be. And one of the areas that so many people are interested in is their weight, their health, their well-being. And it's pretty scary that 1/3 of the world's population is overweight or obese. Over 2 billion people around the world. And it's pretty crazy because once upon a time, that wasn't the case. Something has happened. And what I want to share with you today is the truth. But then I have to understand that my truth might not be your truth. So really, when I'm talking about the truth about weight loss, I'm talking about my personal truth, based on my experience of having worked in this field since 1989. That really was when I first started working with everyday people who were overweight. I became a fitness instructor, but my fascination with this whole area started a long, long time before that. I remember as a young boy seeing my mum going on diet after diet and collecting all of these gizmos and gadgets and bits of paper that she was filling in. I would see her getting on the scales, and literally I found it bizarre. I can remember it like it was yesterday, seeing her get on the scales and sometimes be so happy and so excited, and sometimes be so disappointed, more often disappointed than excited. And I found it bizarre. And I remember actually stepping onto the scales myself, waiting for something to happen, because I didn't understand that what she was doing was weighing herself to see how much she weighed, as if that was a great indication of how successful she was with her weight loss. And in actual fact, it's not the best measure, because when we talk about weight loss, what we're really talking about, and I'll write this on the board here behind me, what we're really talking about is fat. It's not weight loss, we want fat loss. Does that make sense? Fat loss. So I suppose when we're looking at the truth, and my truth is, if you're someone who's listening to this and you want to lose weight, is to be a bit more specific about what you want. It's not that you want to lose weight because your body is made up of skin and muscle and water and bone and fat. And fat is the wobbly stuff that goes around our body that we often want less of. So the first thing is just to be very clear, I want less fat on my body. Because the whole losing weight, if you like, again, this is another part of my truth, is really negative. Most people who want to lose weight are losers. What? Yeah, they are losers because they feel like a loser. Because they've either in the past lost weight and put it back on again, or not even lost any weight and gone on a diet. So they feel like even before they start. So we say that the best way to start is to start, but it's to decide to feel in a particular way. Because if you're going to start something and you already feel like a loser, what do you think is going to happen? So we have to start feeling like we are actually going to win at weight loss. Look, of course, there are elements, and I'm not going to go, because I could talk about this for hours, days, weeks, months. I mean, I've written 18 books. One of the best-selling books I wrote was called Why Am I Not Losing Weight?, where I went on a 2-year journey where I interviewed some of the top nutritionists and personal trainers and psychologists in the world to actually find out what is the truth about weight loss, the truth about how our bodies work. So we could look at diet. Perhaps we'll look at that on another podcast, and how different foods affect us. Listen, one thing I will say about this before we get stuck into the real heart of what I want to share with you is, listen, many years ago, everyone thought it was cool to smoke. Even some doctors would tell people to smoke. But it didn't take long for the real truth to come out about that 1 in 2 people who smoke will get cancer, how dangerous actually smoking is. And now, even if you go into a shop in the United Kingdom, they have to, it's crazy, right? They've put like a thing over the smoking so you can't see them. Like they close a door, if you like, a cabinet that you can't actually see, as if that's going to make any difference. They actually write on cigarettes, smoking kills. They also made it so expensive, but that still doesn't stop people from smoking, because smoking is a habit. And just like eating is a habit, you can give up smoking, but you can't give up food. Or you can, but you probably couldn't give it up for that long before your body just packs up. And this is the thing, it happened with smoking, it happened with alcohol, and now it's happening with sugar. You've probably heard messages that are telling you, look, sugar is killing people. We don't need sugar. We've taken fat out of the diet and said fat is bad. We've put sugar in its place. But now there's so much evidence that supports the fact that the reason people are overweight in so many cases is the amount of sugar that they consume, because sugar makes you pump out a hormone called insulin, which basically makes you store that sugar as fat. But again, I don't want to go too much into that at this point in time. What I really want to talk about is a couple of key things, which is about responsibility and willpower. Now, I don't know if you're the sort of person, or you've been the sort of person, or you know people who are looking for solutions for things. They think that there is a problem and they're looking for an answer. We've all done that before. I've got a problem with my computer. Can you come and fix my computer? Yes. I've got a problem with my heart. Can you fix me for that? I've got a problem with the clothes that I wear. I need better clothes to wear. I need help. I need someone to give me solutions to the problems that I have. But when it really comes to our weight and our health, of course people can help us with it. But the real answer is the answer that resides within you. For me, that's the real truth. The truth doesn't reside in books. The truth doesn't reside in other places that people maybe think it does. Remember, this is my truth. I believe that the truth resides in you. And this is something my coach used to say to me. He used to say, truth resides in you. And as long as you're alive and you're breathing and you're causing problems in your life, that's the truth. Your problems, your desperation should be your inspiration for doing great things. Now, this is so true, because what often finally gets people to take action is the fact that things are so bad. Things are so desperate. They become so overweight. The doctor tells them, look, you are diabetic. You need to lose weight. They have a heart attack. They see a photograph of themselves. They wake up to the fact of what has happened. And that desperation can often be someone's inspiration for taking positive action. And in many cases, that's all that needs to happen. But in also probably about half of those cases, that as soon as people start to get comfortable again and they're not desperate, they go back to what they did before. They go back to a default setting, a default setting of the way they see themselves, default setting of what they eat, default setting of where they get their comfort from, which in many cases is food. So we often do what we do until we know better, and sometimes when we know better, we do better. But my real point of talking to you in this podcast today is about responsibility. To take full responsibility. To take full responsibility for how you live your life. Listen, thousands of years ago, people had to take full responsibility. But what's happened as the generations have moved on is we have so many people that don't want to take responsibility. They actually want to blame someone else, or they're looking for a solution for their problem outside of themselves. And in some cases, maybe there are. But you might think a personal trainer is the solution, but the personal trainer can't exercise for you. And then we think a diet is a solution. Look, there's a big clue in the word diet, and that's the first 3 letters in the word. You know, die. The dieting industry is just based on a couple of simple facts. You becoming a loser, you not having success, because if you had success, you'd never need to go on a diet again. It's an industry that is completely founded on failure. Now that might sound a bit harsh, but trust me, for someone who's been working in this industry for not far off 30 years, you see patterns. And in incredible success stories that we have, and I've got a whole folder of them just over here, you know, because I often say to people that work, or I used to say this, you know, show me your success. Now, obviously, the majority, or those of you that are listening to this, you won't be able to see, but those of you that are watching this, you know, these are people who I've helped lose or inspire them, but their weight loss, 84 pounds, 50 pounds. Look, Sally lost 84 pounds, Miriam lost 42 pounds, Mandy lost 56 pounds, Joe lost 79, Mitchell lost 210 pounds. Are you serious? Yeah, he was the biggest 4-year-old when he was 4, apparently, in the UK. Mary lost 42, Barbara 28, Annie 84. These are all real people that have done something incredible. Obviously, they had a big enough reason. They had a big enough why. So let's write that word down. I don't know whether, again, those of you that are listening, you won't be able to see that. The people who often have the greatest success were the ones who had a big enough why. And I want to touch on that with you. But if you think about the world that we live in today, basically what is happening, which is pretty crazy, is that more and more people are becoming dependent on things. And the world wants you to be dependent on things, dependent on certain types of foods, dependent on certain types of medication, dependent on certain types of people. Now, what happens is we build up dependency to things, we stop being independent. To be independent is to really know what is important, what you need to do, and sticking to it even when it's boring, even when it's mundane. And this is where I want to really share something with you, a couple of very profound things. One is willpower and the other is identity. So what happens with most people, if you ask them what they want when it comes to weight loss, they'll tell you what they don't want. They will tell you they want to lose weight. And we think in pictures. So when you say that to yourself inside your mind's eye, I want to lose weight, what do you picture? What most people picture is themselves heavy or even heavier than they are now. Sometimes they'll picture themselves slim as they were in the past, but that was the past. That wasn't the future. You and I and all of us have an ability to see the future using our imagination. What would happen if you could really see yourself in 6 weeks' time, or 6 months' time, or 6 years' time, fitter, slimmer, healthier? What if you could actually start to identify with that person? One of the greatest athletes I believe that has ever lived is Sally Gunnell, a 400-meter hurdler. I did a podcast with her. And she talks about the identity of the person that she wanted to be. The Olympic champion, the world record holder. And that was the person that she chose to act like. And my goal for all of you, the truth about weight loss, is to act like the person that you want to be. And just like an actor on stage, especially if you're just rehearsing, which you will be to start off with, you're going to get it wrong. But the more you practice, the better you become at playing that part. This is what I really encourage you to think about. And of course, that means you doing the donkey work, the leg work, you doing something rather than someone saying, hey, this is what you need to eat, this is how many calories, this is what you do, taking the power away. So you think the power, you become dependent on something that you probably don't want to do for the rest of your life. When people can identify with where they are going, with the person that they want to be, and they think about that a lot, and then they go out there every day and just act like that person. What does that person do when he gets up in the morning? How does that person move through the world? How does that person eat? How does that person think? You decide. And you just give it the best performance you can. And if you make a mistake, that's okay. The crowd, the audience, will forgive you. You can forgive yourself as you look to just get better. It's all about excellence. And for me, excellence, it's not an act. It's not a one-time thing. It's something that you do every single day. And this is where I really want all of you to get your head around this. Excellence is a series of habits, something you do habitually every day. And many of us, the word habit actually comes from something a nun used to wear, a habit. Habits are something that we wear. We wear the habit of eating too much. We wear the habit of talking ourselves out of things. To put on a new habit, we have to put that thing on every single day until it's just who we are and it's what we do. It's one of the greatest achievements that any human being has ever done. It's the habits that you have that allow you to live the life where you feel happy and feel fulfilled. But no one can do that for you. And I ask you, make today a great day where you decide and to really decide in the true meaning of the word, which comes from the French word to désir, to cut off from all other alternatives and say, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, this is why I'm doing it, this is the person that I am becoming, and I will commit to this no matter what. And if you're going to go on that journey, there's nothing better than being around other people that are doing the same thing. They call it that's why Weight Watchers and Slimming World and these diet things can provide people with support because they're around like-minded people, but they don't have the power. There is nothing better. When I see the success of people that we've helped, when I see them, okay, my program has helped them and assisted them, but they were the one who did it. They were the one who took the action. And it's not always easy, and it's not going to happen overnight. The decision can be made overnight. The decision could be made in a moment. But if you've got 50, 60, 70, 80 pounds to lose, you better be patient, be prepared to do this for an extended period of time. None of this is rocket science. It can be achieved. And hopefully you're fired up and you're motivated by what I have said and what I have shared with you. What I ask of you is to do something. Do something right now. Maybe even share this podcast with someone who you know. It's a sensitive subject, but when you talk to people about their weight, most people who are overweight do want to be slimmer, fitter and healthier, and they need help. They need coaching, and that's why I believe my weight loss program is the most unique program in the world. The Weight Loss Guru program. Guru, G-U-R-U, give you the results you want. My program focuses on willpower. Willpower is the science of self-control. You being able to practice delayed gratification. And look, you have an opportunity to find out about my program. It's £97. It's probably one of the best investments you'll ever make in your life. Why? Coaching, all available wherever you are in the world, and access to an incredible group of people, like-minded people just like you, who are on a journey just like you, and many of them have already had incredible success and they still show up to support and encourage people just like you. What is your number one takeaway from the truth about weight loss? For me, the truth is you. The truth is you have the ability, you have the power. Your future is unwritten. It's all about having a big enough why based on what you see, on the person that you want to become, and working at it, chipping away at that every single day. Go and check out weightlossguru.com/waitlist. weightlossguru.com/waitlist. If our waiting list is closed because you're listening to this, because we only open the doors a few times a year. Just go to weightlossguru.com and you can see for yourself what this whole thing is about. Thank you so much for watching episode 153 of the My 365 podcast series. We will see you again. If you're watching this on iTunes, leave a comment. If you're listening to this anywhere, share it, get it out there. Let's inspire the world to be the very best that they can be every single day. Take care. Much love.